Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatu. A wannan bidiyo namu insha Allah za mu ɗauki wannan mini projects ɗin ga sunan guda from A to R, za mu yi abin nan ɗinsu insha Allah, za mu yi solving ɗinsu one after another. So the first project is saying create, consider a library database. So we are going to name our database as a library. Then we are going, then they said that has four tables. The database is having four tables, namely staff, books, students, borrower. That's it. Then they said we should write HTML. So we should write PHP codes to query the database. So the first thing we are going to do, we are going to open our PHP my admin. This is our PHP my admin. Before I open it, I have to start my server. I believe you all know this XAMPP server. So I have to start it before I start anything in my, what do you call it, uh, in my codes. So I'm trying to reload. I've already opened the Apache and my SQL server. So now I'm running the PHP my admin. I will write it like this: localhost/php my admin. This is how I should write it. So once I write it like this is the page that will appear. Then kawai sai in bude new day. I will just click on this new. Then I will name my database as library. Library. Then I'll create the database. So you see, I've already created the database. Now they said I should create four tables. The first table is staff table. So these are the columns under staff table. I would say maybe staff ID, staff, let me just say S name, then uh, S username, S password, for instance. Oh, right. Yeah, oh, sorry, I've just received a call. Let me just say, let me just say staff code, for example. So this is what I have in the database. This one is auto increment. The first one is auto increment, and it is our primary key. That is the staff ID. So the next one is this one. I'm going to select a voucher. This one also I will select a voucher for surname. Then for the staff code also I will select a voucher. This surname, maybe I will just say 22 characters. This one also I will say 22 characters. Then for the staff code also I will say 22 characters. I think it's okay for this. So now you see we have successfully created a student table. Then the next thing in the same database, this is our database. Then the next thing we are going to create, let me check. Yeah, the next thing is book. So in the books, I will say books. Then I will say book ID, book name. Then I will say author, maybe. Then I will say what again? You can add anything, you can put anything you want. If there are a lot, or if there are other things you want to add, you can add them. Let me just say description, for instance, description. So that's it for the book. So I will say voucher also. Yeah, also I will say voucher. Here also I will say voucher. Then you see if it is int, I don't have to put the what do you call it? The length. You see this one book name, it may take a very long this thing. Also this one, let me just say 55 because it may take a full name may be very longer. Then for the description also I can write 222 characters for description. Then this one, our primary key is also ID. It's also a book ID. So I will say auto increment. Then I will just click on save. So then I will say in ƙara creating wani sabon table shima. I will name it as borrower. Okay, as four tables. Okay, the next table is student, maybe student. Then I will say student ID, admission number, full name. Um, then maybe I will say department. Yeah, I think, yeah, I will say department. So there are a lot. If you have other things you can add, you see, this is where you can add more columns. If you want to add, maybe you want to add three columns, you can add three columns like this. You see, maybe you can say the level of study, that is the level of study, and what have you. So you can add as many as you want, if you want to add. Then the next thing, this one, I think for the Federal University, so we can change it. We can put it as int, but let's just put it as a voucher. But we can also put it an int, but due to some reasons, we just change it to voucher. Yeah. So department also I will say voucher. Level also I will say voucher. Here I will change it to maybe 11. Department I will change it to the department might be very long, like Department of Pure and Applied Chemistry, for instance. Admission number we change it to 22. This one we can leave it like 44. I think we can go with 44. So I will save it also. So the next thing is borrower. Borrower name. Okay, borrower ID. Then I will say um borrower name, phone number. Then maybe I will say email address like this. Then I will say voucher. Here also I will say voucher. Here also I will say voucher. Then borrower name. Maybe let me change. Let me make it 35. The phone number. Let me just make it 22. Email. Let me make it 111 because email is something very long. So the next thing don't forget, every time you must have a primary key, and the primary key, ideally, the best practice is to start with the primary key and you just set this as auto increment so that once you add it will automatically increase. So you see, we have created four tables. So that is number one thing we have to do. Then the next thing is said, write a PHP MySQL code to create the tables. Insert record in the four tables and a query that will output the records. So now we are going to do two things. The first thing is to write a query. So we are going to create a form. You understand? We are going to create a form for adding up a new student. Sorry, for adding of what do you call it? Sorry. For adding sorry, give me the name, for adding of a new staff, adding of a new borrower, adding of a new book, and what have you. So the first thing I will say is HTML. Then I will say maybe let me just name this one as group A, like this. Then the first thing I will do is I will say maybe let me just create a list like this. Then I will say maybe staff. I will just copy and paste. Oh, sorry. First, I will say A, then href. Yeah. So I will say staff.php like this. Staff. So you see, I have staff, I have books, I have students, then I have borrower like this. So now here I will say borrower.php. Here I will say student.php. Here I will say book.php like this. So now I have created, sorry, I have just created an interface. Let me just run what I have just created and see localhost slash Pugus slash group A. Sorry, I didn't put group A. Then I will say .php. Then I will hit enter. So you see now I have this. But before then, maybe here in the header, I will say H3 or H4. I think I can go with H4. Uh, uh, I will say group A or let me just say library management system like this. Yeah. So let me refresh again. So you see like this. Um, the next thing, yeah. So you see I have for this thing, which one, whatever I create, I will, yeah. So I have four tables, staff, books, and the students. So now the first thing we are going to do, I think this one will be our navigation bar. This one, I will change it to navigation bar for easy reference. Let me just say nav.php. I named it as nav.php. So you see, now if I refresh, let me refresh this. You see, everything now is empty. So now what I will do is I will include the navigation bar PHP. Then I will just say include. This include functions. When I include the file, it's like I've copied the whole file and put it uh in the page. So once I said include and said nav.php, it's like I've included everything like this in the file. So now the next thing I will say maybe I can say stuff.php like this. Then the next one is book. Sorry, I have just created a new page. I will say book.php. Then the next one I will say borrower.php. Then the next one I will say student.php. So you see now I have created all the four pages. This is student.php, book.php, borrower.php, and which one is the last one? Yeah, so there are four: book, borrower, student, and the staff. So let me start with staff. The first thing I will say I would open my PHP tag, then I will say include, then I will put the nav.php. Shine first abin da za mu harawa. Za mu sa nav.php din mu. So idan muka sa nav.php din mu bari ku ga, kun gani? Let me just go to staff. So you see this is our staff.php amma me zai bambance muna shi saboda mu gane cewa wannan a staff.php muke. Let me just create a h5. Also, let me just say h6. Then I will say list of staffs. Sorry, I think I didn't close my navigation bar very well. Yeah, yeah, I didn't close all these ones. Yeah. So now you see I said list of staffs like this. Let me center it. Though we are not, we don't care about the CSS. We don't care about the CSS. Yeah, so like this now, I will say list of staffs. That is the list of staffs I'm having. I think, yeah, so um let me just keep copying and pasting. I'll come to student also. You see the student is empty now, but if I said here, let me go to student now. You see student.php now. Here I'll say lists of students. So you see now it has changed to list of students. So now if I go to borrower, let me go to borrower. You see the borrower page is empty now. So let me just copy this. Then yeah, let me copy it. Then paste it to borrower. Then I will change this one to list of borrowers. So you see this is the list of borrowers like this. Then the next thing is yeah, I'm done with staff, borrowers. Then the next one is book. So let me copy and paste also. Then I will say list of uh, books like this. So now you see whichever one I click on, it will have, you see list of staffs, list of students, so list of books, list of students, and list of borrowers. So now maybe let me just increase the size of this. Let me change it to H5 so that it will look more bigger. Let me change it to H4 and see how it will looks. I think, okay, it's borrower page. Okay, books. So you see the name now is the list of books. You see it looks more bigger. So now what they said is now they want us to fetch the list of books in the database. Let's say I have maybe one record in each and every what do you call it? Let's say I have one record. Yeah. Let's say I have one record. Here I will say name is maybe student handbook. Also, let me say Ahmad Sani description. This serve as a guide to new students and returning students. So I will just click on go like this. Then this is for books. Then I'll go for borrowers also. I'll come to insert. Then we'll say borrower name is Saudatu Sani Umar, for instance. I'll write phone number. Let me just use my phone number. And then email, I will use my Saudatu Sani Umar at gmail.com, for instance. So I want to have one record in each table. Here I will say insert, then student name, uh, Muhammad Isiaka. Let me just say Babawo, for instance. Then staff code, then I will just say HTCL slash 005. That is the staff code. So you see, I've successfully created one record in each table. Okay, so in student table, let me just say um uh the admission number 15103 10063, full name Nasiru Umar Shamaki, Department of Computer, level, let me just say 300 level, for example. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this one I didn't create a primary key. So I have to create one. Yeah, I have to create one. This one. Yeah. So I've just changed it to auto increment and it is our primary key. So now I think we are good to go. Good. So now let me start by student. So first I will have to create a connection with my database. I will have to create a connection. So now if I want to create a connection, all I will do is just create a PHP tag. You know, whenever you are creating a PHP file, the first thing you will do shine za ka yi creating PHP tag. Za mu ce con, za mu ce con is equals to my SQLi query. Then we open bracket. Sorry, not my SQLi query. Since we are going to make a connection now, I will say my SQLi connect. Then I will open the connection by the first thing I will say is local host, then comma, then here I will say root, then here I will put password. The password is empty all the time. In most cases, for a starter, the password is always empty. So the database name, we are going to put our database name, which is library. So now we have created a connection. You understand? We have created a connection. So now whenever we want to query, just we have to include this connection. So for us to include the connection everywhere, we can just include the connection in this nav.php for easy this thing. So now all I will say is just PHP, then I will say include, yeah, include, then con.php. You know, you see it's not giving me colors because for the first time the text editor is seeing it as what do you call it, as, yeah. So now you see I've just created it like this. Now you see it just gave me colors. So I think we are good to go. Yeah, now I have created a connection. So now the first thing I will do, for where is the stuff, I have just created my connection and I included it in my what do you call it, in my nav.php. So now abin da zan ce kawai yanzu, zan fara creating query dina. I will say SQL is equals to my SQLi query like this. Then ce con, then I will write the query like this. SQL is as simple as that. It's just a normal simple English. Select all from, then what is the name of my table? The name of my table is staff. So I will just say staff. That's all. Let's see. I think the name of my table is, here is staff. So I'll just say staff. Then uh, I will create another query and say uh, I will put it in a while loop. I will say while, then I will say row is equals to my SQLi fetch, yeah, a sock. That is associative array. These are all these are all terms that I believe maybe you may not know it, but insha Allah za mu yi duka video tutorial akan duka wa'annan functions din ɗaya bayan ɗaya za mu bi su mu yi explaining din su insha Allah. Just keep following the YouTube channel. Insha Allah we'll be uploading it one after another. Za mu yi explaining din su insha Allah, and very soon za mu saki videos din. Wannan ma is just for an emergency, shi yasa muka yi shaka, amma insha Allah one after another za mu yi wancan. So now you see we have just assigned, when you assign a variable, the first thing we will do that much table. That we creating table like this. That much table. Then that much table row like this. Then that much th, that is table header. So now that para the serial number. Serial number, full name, username, then the next one is staff codes. So our border, let me just say border is equals to 1 so that I should border my whole table. So I think let me just try fetching it. Yeah, it might give us an error on line 16. Yeah, we didn't pass anything here. We are expected to write we are expected to pass this thing that we have just wrote. So you see now it's not giving us any error. I think for the padding or cell spacing, let me just say 2. Okay, let me just say 5 and see. Anyways, I think we can leave it like this. Or let me just increase the width of the table to 100 pixels so that I think it will look more wider. Okay, so I will just say 500. I want it to look more wider. Good. So you see, this is my table. You understand? This is my table, and I think the width is okay like this. Or let me just change it to 700, for instance. So I believe now the width is okay like this. So now the next thing is to continue writing the rest of the records in the table. Yeah. So now let me close this. I will say echo. Then I will say this is the tr like this. Then, oh, I think let me close the PHP tag here. I'll close the PHP tag. After I'm done with this, then I'll open it again. Yeah, I think it will be more simpler. So let me close the uh, tr tag like this. Then I'll open td also. Then inside td, I'll open PHP tag and close it. Then I will say echo row. That is the name of this variable is row. Then The first thing is full name. Let me see the what is the full name in the database is S name. That is the staff name. So I will just say S name. Yeah, mind you, the SQL is case sensitive. Then the next one is username, then staff code. S username. Then the next one is staff. Let me see how I spell the staff code. The staff underscore code like this. Yeah, I think that's all. Okay, so the first one, let me just name it as a variable. The first one, since the first one is a serial number, so I'll just name it as a variable. Then the variable is x, and I said x is equals to 1. So now I assign the value of x to be 1. Now let me just go and refresh. Yeah, I didn't open PHP tag here. I have to open PHP tag and close it. Yeah. So you see, I have the list in the database now. You see, it's already fetching it from the database. You see, it's fetching the name from the database. If I change anything here, let me just change this one to Aminu Saadu, like this, for instance. So if I come to this place, you see it reflects, it's just changed to Aminu Saadu. So that's it for the what do you call it, for this yeah, for stuff. So once we create more stuff, let me just add a new stuff. Sharp, let me just add a new stuff. Let me just say the new stuff is Awal Ahmad. Username, let me just say general. Then staff code is HTCL, maybe 06. You see the new stuff was automatically added. You see everything just reflects like this. So you can keep adding just new stuffs, but uh, on the next, maybe in the next video, if this is too long, maybe in the next video, I will make a video on how to create a new stuff, how to create a new book, how to create a new borrower, how to create a new student, and the rest. So you see, the only challenge we are having now is this serial number is not incrementing automatically. So if you want it to be incrementing automatically, you can just come to this before the ending of this bracket, just come and write xx plus plus. You mean it should be increasing by 1 all the time. So you see, once you create a new, it will just keep increasing 1 by 1. So this is how you create a stuff and then a list of stuff. So I think since we have done this, I think what we are going to do is just to copy this. We are done with stuff now. Let's move to the next one, which is borrower, for instance. So I will just paste it. Then I will just change this to borrower, the way it was written, borrower. Then what are the details of the borrower? Borrower. Yeah, this is the table of the borrower. So what are the details of the borrower? We have borrower name, phone number, and email. So we have full name. I will just say phone number. Then I will just say email here. Yeah, I will just say email like this. Then here I will say borrower name. Then I will say phone number. Then I will say email. Is it email? Yeah, it's email. So I will just save it like this. I think we are good to go. Let me just go to the borrower and see. So you see, we have the list of our borrower. Wow. Yeah, the list of borrower, phone number, and the rest. So if I add a new borrower now, it will reflect. Then let me go to the books. Very quick one. Let me go to the book. Also, I will just paste it. Where is book.php? This is book.php. I will just paste it. Then what are the details we have in book? I will have to be very fast. Yeah, these are details we have in book name, author, and description. So I will just say book name, author, then I will just say description. Yawa. So now say in rubuta select all from book like this. Yeah. So I will just write yeah book name, author, then I will just say description like this. So I think I'm done with the book. Also, once I click on the book, you see, so we have an oversight. The mistake we made is just while writing this book. I think in the table we wrote books instead of book. So once I refresh, you see everything is reflect the name, the author, and description. The next thing is I think yeah we have students. So for student also I will just say I will make it very fast. Yeah, student. I think in the next video we are going to talk about the student yeah, anyhow, maybe in the next video we are going to talk about the student page. Oh, let me quickly have it. Let me quickly just in the next video we are going to talk about the student. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful. We shall see in the next video.